Another weekend, more work to do. Now, unfortunately, my first task for today is to put a fence between us and our neighbors. We've got security cameras up around the property and we've discovered that people are walking through our garden during the day. Now, we're in the remote highlands of Scotland and still people are coming through the garden. Now, normally I wouldn't mind, but we've got too many tools and stuff lying around and we've got a lot of holes in the garden now and it can be dangerous. So I'm going to have to fence the garden off, or part of the garden, just to stop people walking their dogs through. The secondary reason for this is I also want to try and stop some of the water coming down a little slope here. When it rains, it really rains, and any little slope becomes a river. So this is the little slope here that I've shown you in previous clips. And the water comes running down here, so I'm going to have to erect a fence right there just to stop people coming through and to put more drainage in. In Scotland, we don't have trespass law. Now, that doesn't mean you can just walk through anybody's property, but it does mean that you can walk through a farmer's field as long as you're careful and your dog is not off a lead. But in this case, we've got people walking through our garden. And as I've stated, we're digging a lot of holes, and I'd hate to see somebody falling into a hole here and it becomes our problem. Now, in our last house, in this very same village, when we used to go away and come back, we used to discover dead animals inside the house. Normally it would be birds or bats, and at first we thought these just flew in naturally, but we discovered that people were actually laying them out on the table, almost in a ritual form. Very, very strange behavior. So we have placed CCTV right around the property, and we've also replaced all the locks. People have been walking through this garden for many years now. I mean, this house has been empty for at least 3 years, but due to all the work we're doing, I think I'm gonna have to put a stop to it. Now that I've changed into my work gear, ready for some work, and the skies are about to open up and bucket down. But I'm gonna show you what I need to fence off. So this stone wall is the end of our boundary, and there's a slope that goes down to our house. And it goes way up, just past those trees on the one side. So I'm gonna have to cut a path right through all these trees to get a new fence in. But today, thank God, I'm just gonna cover this little section right in front of me. Gonna serve two purposes. One, to block it off so that people can't wander into a hole somewhere. And two, I'm going to dig some drainage channels to get a lot of this water away. So this is the boundary line going down to the house, and it carries on way down there past the pine tree. I have to clear out all of this. It is now 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yes, you heard me, 4 o'clock. It gets really dark really quickly in winter in Scotland. And that's me just got 3 fence posts in, and in a couple of days I'll be able to put the railings on it, and in a couple of days I'll be able to put the actual fence slats on it. So you can't see much. I'll come back in the morning, continue on with the work. It's just getting too dark and too wet. In America, when you dig a hole, you're likely to strike oil, while in Scotland you dig a hole, you're going to strike 2 things, either water or rock. In my case, I hit both. Jackpot. I can tell you this weather is relentless. I got up early this morning to get a start on the roof, and it was bucketing down. Unfortunately, in conditions like this, you just have to keep working. Otherwise, you'll never get anything done in Scotland. Now I'm starting to re-slate the roof, the section we did. I can tell you this is not easy. I can understand why slaters take some years to perfect this technique. Getting new holes into the slates, I tell you, it's quite tricky. Yesterday I managed to get 5 rows of tiles up. Now I've never done this before and I've had to learn a couple of little tricks. One of the biggest problems was getting a hole in the slate. Now the slaters make this look really easy, but it took me 2 days to learn how to do this.
Roll your 2 buckets.
Yeah. No, you can use them. Right, now there are already holes in these tiles, but they are too big. They're from when we pulled the nails out the last time. So we're gonna have to make new holes. Now the trick I discovered is to have something really sharp. Now this is a slater's hammer, and we've sharpened the point and a bit of confidence. Let me just hold this upright. Now you've got 2 new holes in the slate. Now ideally, of course, you want to get them to each end of the slate